Okay, so what we do start with is the next topic, that is the societal impacts. Okay, so let me share my screen and start with it. Okay, now what they're talking about in this particular module is that how exactly the um, scenario changed in the coming days. I mean, in this era, rather, you can say that so much of digitization has been done, so much of social media is there. So how the society is being impacted, okay, in terms of pros as well as cons, both the things. It is also talking about e-waste, the amount of electronic waste we are generating. So what to do with that? What has government done to take care of these things? So all these things are there in this particular module. Okay. To start with, the first thing we talk about is the digital footprints. A very simple concept, because what we see is that whenever we are trying to access something on the internet, I'm checking some, dress, I'm checking on some electronic device, gadget, something like that. The next minute, whenever I'm there on my system, on my mobile, you have those category of advertisements popping in from here and there, right? That means what? Somebody is obviously and always keeping a note on what all are you doing, right? So we call this thing as a trail of data. We leave a trail of data reflecting the activities performed online. Okay. So this all leads to some kind of a permanent data storage, which affects what is being shown to you in the next minute, which affects what kind of advertisements will be targeted towards you. So this is all decided by your digital footprints. Many a times I know that I have given some information on the social media, or I have put a photograph, or I have put some personal detail on my uh, page. So I know about it. Okay. But many a times we don't even realize that by downloading a cookies or accepting a cookies, or maybe writing something on that, making putting a comment on something, that we are really giving so much of information to the world, right? So the digital footprints are also classified into two categories: active and passive footprints. So there are two main categories in the digital footprints. Active is when I know that I have given this information, like on Facebook, on social media, we are constantly giving some comments, some posts, some photographs, something we are posting. So we are aware. Okay, we have done this thing. So we know that people are looking at it and people are watching it and the world is watching it. At times we feel that it's only available amongst the friends, but later we realize that it is available to the whole world. Right? Sometimes we get phone calls for all these loans and this and that, and God knows from where did they get our phone numbers, isn't it? So that is why at times we are very well aware what we are doing, and hence this data stays there. That is called as my active footprint. And sometimes we are not aware of the things which gets automatically collected by the system and preserved and may be shared amongst multiple sources. Okay, so that's called as my passive data, passive footprint. Okay, sometimes we are like visiting a website and just going through it, maybe making one or two searches, making one or two, you know, activities there. We don't even realize that somebody is tracing us. Okay, so that is what comes under my passive footprint. Okay, so two categories of footprints: active and passive. Now, what all do we do which makes us leave the digital footprints? Very commonly, we understand that We go for online shopping, we go for visiting websites, we access social media, and wherever we are doing any kind of YouTube search or something on our mobile phones, tablets, laptops, desktops, we are leaving footprints. है ना? Bank activities on the browser, whatever we are doing, it's just keeping a track of it and maybe giving it to whom all we don't know. Right? So these are the ways we leave, which we are very well aware of. Even for online shopping, whenever we go, the moment we are searching for something, and the next minute I have my targeted advertisements coming up. It's too quick. Okay, na? So whatever we do, whenever we are on the internet, we know that we are not safe. That is one thing. Now, how do I manage to have minimum damage? One is, of course, you leave everything, which is not possible. I'm not going to leave accessing YouTube. I'm not going to leave my social media. I'm not going to leave things which I'm doing. So it's not a feasible thing. I mean, you have to stay cut off from everything in that case, which I don't want to do. Right? So how do I manage it to have minimum damage? That is what we have to just keep in mind. You should know what you are posting, how much are you posting, how much are you writing, whether you're making it a private post or not. Don't make everything public. Stronger passwords, checking your cookies. We are visiting some sites for some information and I'm so desperate. I just even don't realize that I'm accepting accepting the cookies. Right? So we should not do that. We should be very careful about at least access the HTTPS sites with that lock symbol. The secure sites are better to use them, isn't it? And keep on updating your browser, your scanners, your everything, so that they are ready to fight back. Okay. Keep on from time to time deleting your cookies and history and everything from your browser. Don't save your passwords. We are very much tempted to do it. I myself have tempted to do it because I don't remember passwords. It's very difficult for me to remember passwords. And now there's like everywhere we've got hundreds of passwords. Okay, so no other option. We are tempted at times to save it onto the browser, right? We should not do that. Maybe you note it down somewhere in a hard copy form, but do not save it on the system. That is something very, very significant. Okay, so all these basic things we need to keep, take care of so that we are better placed. Still, nonsense do happen, but okay, jitna we can avoid, right? So tips to manage. So here we have certain clips which I found interesting on the net, and I got them so that just pointers ke form mein you can remember the things. Okay, 10 ways how do you create digital footprints. Whatever you want to check out on that, like one interesting thing I found was the 7th point. Google yourself. Write your name in Google and see how much is it able to extract for you. Okay, so do not keep, like this was also very nice, which we tend to forget at times. Old or inactive accounts should be disabled or deleted. हम लोग कभी कभी randomly accounts बना लेते हैं and like we then forget it, याद भी नहीं रहता because we're not accessing it often. So we should be careful about these things. That is what they are trying to say. Okay. And here there was like, there's one question which once or twice it has been asked in the CBSE thing. Of course, questions from basic, these topics are there. But they do ask that, is it a permanent footprint or it gets deleted from time to time? Okay. So it's nothing like that. It is not going to get deleted. It's a permanent thing only. It doesn't get deleted automatically. Once you are fed in that information, it's there. ठीक है, तुम अपने एंड से भी डिलीट कर दोगे तो भी वो होगा कहीं ना कहीं उसका रेफरेंस. बाय द टाइम यू काइंड ऑफ रियलाइज इट, तब तक किसी और ने देख लिया, डाउनलोड कर लिया, स्क्रीन रिकॉर्ड कर लिया. People are smart nowadays and bothered also as to what you're doing. ठीक है, so be careful about it. That's some pointers are there. Just go through it. Many things are very general. You'll remember it. Nothing. Okay. So here we are also talking about in the advanced settings of the browser, which I was discussing yesterday in that class too. We can go to the privacy setting and delete all cookies, remove individual cookies, cookie settings में जाके, privacy settings में, passwords की settings में, सब जगह जाके you can set up your things properly so as to avoid any disaster. Okay. Next is we talk about a very simple concept here, but very important in our day-to-day life, that is net etiquettes. We see many people saying nonsense, doing nonsense on the social media to attract attention. It's not a good thing. We all are maybe aware of, and we have seen this girl called as Urfi. I don't know, she's become now a celebrity. The ways and reasons we all know. Right? So, nonsense create करने का कोई logic नहीं बनता है. We should avoid it. Right? Plus, basic certain things that do whatever you want to do. Don't try to interfere into others' privacy. Don't try to share, reshare others' things. Be mindful about your language, your, the way you're putting things. We should be careful about that. Without somebody's consent, do not share their information. Of course, avoid stalking, bullying, all that we must avoid. Quarrels we must avoid. Right? So these are a few etiquettes which we should maintain. Be good citizens, good Samaritans. Okay? Which this generation seems to not really like it. Chalo, anyways. Certain communication etiquettes are also there, that we should be very polite, precise, time-bound, creditable. Do not give out fake news. Rumors ko pass mat karo until unless you're 100% sure about something. It becomes a huge, it creates a huge hue and cry by one information you share, because wrong things always pass very fast. Okay, na? So be very careful when you're doing sharing information, sharing and talking to people on the net, internet or social media, whatever you want to say. There's no need to write a lot. There is no need to write things which are not advisable. Fine. Just remember 2 to 3 points in this regards. 1 markers can be asked. Or maybe they add these points as MCQs. Okay. Social media etiquettes are also there. General etiquettes are also there. Communication etiquettes are also there. Then I've given a few scenarios which we say that as children, we must adhere to a few things. Okay, what can lead you people to problem, and if you are in trouble, what you should do. So certain scenarios we have picked up and I have given it to you. Just give it a read. Okay, so that you are aware of the things. Like I'll just read out one, rest I leave it for you. Allison accidentally reveals too much. That's like my heading. So he's a high school star player of girls soccer team. Okay. And she has a MySpace account that her parents know about, and she regularly posts pictures of a soccer team and wins and something like on the profile page. Okay. This picture typically shows the girls in their team uniforms with captions and who are they going to play with, the date and time, the place where they're going to play, kahan ja rahe, kahan aa rahe, all this information used to be there. Unfortunately, one day after school, Alison received a scary message from an unknown person asking details about when and where the next game is to be held. At first, Alison ignored the person, but this only makes them more persistent. She blocks them, immediately tells her parent what happened. Once her parents see her profile page, they are more concerned because without intending to, Alison has posted pictures and details that reveal a lot about personal information, including what school she goes to, when does she practice, where does she go to practice, whom she plays with, every information is there. Right? So you put it with a good intention, but people catch it with the wrong one. So be careful. Don't do things like Don't put everything on the social media. That's the main thing. You want to share it with your friends, do that. And you should be sure that they are your friends. That's even more important. આજકાલ who's a friend, who's a foe, we don't tend to realize that. Right? So these kind of scenarios which we want you people to be aware of. That's all about your digital footprints and etiquettes. Next is another very important thing which is happening is the plagiarism, wherein we say that we tend to copy each other's ideas, words, writing, and violating the copyright laws. That is what is plagiarism means. We all do it. You do it, I do it. कोई homework मिला सीधा नेट पे लिखा वहां से डेटा उठाया लिखा and submit कर दिया. It's not supposed to be done. If you do it, it's plagiarism. Right? Now, certain types. Because what we have to understand here is that what all things come under this. Like sometimes you might say, ma'am, I have taken the text, but I have rewritten it according to my words. Is it still a plagiarism thing? Yes, it is. Okay. So they have given some categories: global plagiarism, paraphrasing, verbatim, mosaic, self, incorrect, and the severity level of it. So accordingly, you are punished if somebody sues you. Right? So like he said, the severe most category in this is that entire text by someone else is being taken by you as it is. Okay. That's the most severe most. Then comes a few category of serious ones, which says that you have taken somebody's idea and implemented it without citation. This is something also of concern. By citation, I mean that I mention the website from where I've taken, or the person whose article I've used, or the details of from where have you picked up that information. If you have put that, you are safe. Okay. But if you don't do it, which I say without citation, you're doing it, then it is definitely not acceptable. Okay. So rephrasing somebody else's data, directly copying, combining text and ideas from different sources. थोड़ा सा यहाँ से लिया, थोड़ा सा वहां से लिया, and we do all that. Without citation, again, it is considered a serious one. Reusing passages and ideas from your work, from your own previously submitted work. अपने ही data में से copy किया. That is also a kind of a plagiarism, because you have put it on the internet for others to view. उसके बाद when you kind of rephrase and again give out something new, not to be done. Failing to give all the necessary information in your source citation, that is also a kind of plagiarism. If you're doing it and you're not giving complete information about the citation, it's not right. Okay. So these are the types. You really don't have to memorize these names, but this information was interesting and we need to keep it in mind कि किस situation में it is a plagiarism. That is what they ask you in the paper. Maybe they give you like, select the most unsuitable category from the below for plagiarism. ठीक है ना? So you should know. अब तुम बोलो कि मैम, if they say कि okay, I'm combining text and ideas from different sources. So is it not plagiarism or is it plagiarism? Yes, it is. Okay, I rephrased it. See, it's written rephrasing also. Rephrasing is also plagiarism. You cannot say that I am just kind of rephrased it, so it is okay. No, that is also part of plagiarism only. Okay, that is why I took these examples. Otherwise, types को as such याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. That is not required. Then comes another important thing which you people have studied in your commerce classes maybe, or maybe you will study. That is the patent, copyrights and trademarks. So this we talk about intellectual property rights. A lot of things are being discussed regarding this. Nowadays, it's become very, very significant, very, very important, because other than the, what do you call, ancestral property in terms of house and land, which used to be significant. Now, even the intellectual property, something which you create with your creativity, with your brain, with your, that kind of an output, is also under infringement and under law. ठीक है ना? So that is also to be understood. And they are in law by three categories. One is patent, one is copyright, and one is trademark. तीनों का अलग अलग specifications है, which we need to know very well. Again, a very important point of, thing which they ask in the exam paper. They can give you examples and say, is it patents or copyright or trademark? ये तो definite है question exam में. Okay, so you should be able to differentiate. कि कौन सी, if it's I'm saying a scientific invention, will that come under patent, copyright or trademark? बताओ, from your general understanding. A scientific invention, should it come under patent or copyright or trademark? Come on. Yes? Adya, what do you think?
Patent.
Yeah, it should be a patent. So we need to identify that. If I'm talking about a music, like it's a tune or it's a song or it's a music video banaya and the tune of that song, that should be patent, copyright or trademark. Copyright. Okay, so you understand what I'm trying to say. I should be able to differentiate among these things in terms of whether it's a copyright or a patent or a trademark. Okay, there's a link to this video. It's an interesting one. You can go through that. Okay, so mainly the IPR is concerned to literary and artistic work, inventions. So creations of mind, not the kind of property we talk about as such. Fine. So first is the copyright. It is anything you create as an original work. Anything, maybe a painting, maybe a music, maybe a choreography, maybe anything you are creating as an original work, that becomes your copyright. And if you see anybody trying to copy it, sell it, use it, you can sue that person. Okay. So that comes with applicable to books, literature, dramatics, anything concerned to musical work, artwork, everything comes under your this category, copyright category. Okay. Next comes your patent. And copyright is lifetime. Like R.D. Burman का कोई music piece है, which is long time back he's created, 30 years, 40 years before. So it's unlimited वाला case होता है. Patent is for 20 years. Repatent का भी कुछ है. I think there is something that you again apply for it. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to read it. You may find that out. But as per the basic understanding, we say it's a 20-year patent. After that, it can be used. Okay. So patent is usually granted for inventions. And of course, that could be in terms of medicine. It could be in terms of some kind of anything. I mean, solar panel भी एक invention है, तो anything related to green earth, that is also an invention. Everything. Okay, a new invention. And the basic goal, as we say, is to encourage innovation. कि भाई तुम्हारे नाम पे है वो patent, so you tend to work towards it. And commercialization of technological advances. When the patent is granted, owner gets an exclusive right to prevent others from using, selling, or distributing it. But for 20 years. Okay? I marked it specifically because again, an MCQ question. 10, 20, 30, 40. How many years the patent is applicable for? So it's 20 years. Okay, keep that in mind. Then comes a trademark, which is applicable for your designs, words, phrase, symbol, which is helping you to distinguish from one thing to another. Like I know this particular symbol is for which brand. And I know a particular symbol is from which brand. So nobody else can use that symbol. I know which brand is using this one. And nobody else can use it. Similar वाला भी नहीं होना चाहिए और exactly तो होना ही नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है? It could be a word or a logo mark, slogan, shape, animations, holograms, everything comes on to your business, comes under your trademark. Then there comes the licensing thing. So you are creating a license, you are creating a agreement between the creator of the original work and you want to give it to someone to use. उसके लिए आपने लाइसेंस बना दिया, ठीक है? And definitely that license is a paid license, generally a paid license. जिसमें से the first one which we study about is the software license. So I want to use MS Office. I'll have to buy the license. I pay them the amount and they give me the authority to use a copy of that software. And that license can be a lifetime license also. That license can be a yearly license. That license can be a monthly license, a quarterly license, whatever. That depends upon the guidelines of the creator. So Microsoft tells me that I'm giving you this license for a year. Yearly license. We buy the antivirus software का license. Generally, it is yearly license. Okay. Now, if you are violating the IPR, up to my license नहीं लिया, because you are using it. So what are other things which come under and how do I categorize it? How do I name it basically? Not categorize. How do I name it? That is important. So one is plagiarism, of course. तुमने किसी का original work, write up, material, book, कुछ भी ऐसा violate किया. So you are coming under plagiarism. If you are violating the copyright of someone, that is, you are using another person's thing without their permission, without paying for it, copyright infringement. Infringement, ये term. Okay, one is the IPR and then violation of IPR creates these infringements. This term is significant, will be given in the paper some way or the other, so keep that in mind. Infringement. So copyright infringement है, trademark infringement है, unauthorized use of somebody's trademark, somebody's catchline, somebody's logo, somebody's hologram, I'm using it. So you are bound to have some legal proceedings. And then you run the case. Okay? Okay, now we understand that we nowadays have something called as public license. है ना? We talk about open source software. हमेशा software licensed software नहीं use करना है. We have this concept of open source license nowadays. Anybody can use it. Even the source code is available for you to use and recreate things out of that. Okay. So for public access and open source categories, you have two category of licenses. One is the GPL, which is the GNU General Public License, an important full form also. GNU General Public License. So G itself is a word in this full form. G means GNU and then again GPL. Creative Commons is the other category. The two popular public licenses are this. Then you have individual licenses of the softwares that we talk about or something else. But in general, public licenses under you got two, GPL and the Creative Commons. GPL is applicable to your softwares, all the free softwares. Like हम कहते हैं ना, free है, open source है, but it's not a proprietary license. Okay, proprietary means it's been owned by some organization or somebody. It comes under the general public license. Okay, so it is general public license is mainly concerned to the software only software. So which grants you the permission to copy, modify, redistribute, and the same rights are preserved for all the derivative work. मतलब उस software से उस code से you have recreated another thing. No, A से तुमने B create किया, so the same right of general public license is carried on to all its derivative work. ये नहीं कि वो because see, I mean, you got the code for X software, right? Which is under public license. Now, from that, using that code, you created a code, Sushmita code, something, some XYZ you created. अब बोलो कि ये तो मेरा है, तो I use that as a proprietary. No, because it is a derivative work of the thing which you have used. जनरल पब्लिक लाइसेंस के डेटा को उठा के तुमने डेरिवेटिव कुछ नया रिक्रिएट किया है. सो इवन दैट डेरिवेटिव वर्क ऑफ माइन comes under the GPL only, public license only. You cannot make it a proprietary license. Okay? Until unless it is completely an original thing which you have created and then you apply for the license and then you get it, it's a proprietary license. Otherwise, GPL से जो तुमने लिया और उससे नया चीज create किया, so that also comes under your GPL only. Okay. Then comes this Creative Commons. These are the like licenses given to all the intellectual matter that we talk about nowadays: websites, music, film, literature, art, dramatic design, photos, logos, everything. So if I go to my net and I go for, Creative Commons, like I'm searching for a picture or a background and I say under Creative Commons, तो वो ऐसा उठ के आएगा which is not something for which somebody can sue you. Okay, so there are things, there are materials which are under the Creative Commons license. And when you are accessing it, using it, creating something out of it, so you are not penalized. You are not violating the law because it is meant for copy, modify, redistribute. ठीक है, तो जब भी search करो net पे, do it with Creative Commons license. Say that some image you're talking about, like Sri Lanka का कुछ photo चाहिए मुझे, so you say under Creative Commons license, है ना? बाकी pictures are with copyright. That is why sometimes when we download something, उसपे there's a background logo or a watermark or something which we can't remove, right? But if it's under Creative Commons, then you have the right to copy, modify, redistribute. ये तीन चीज का rights के बारे में we are talking about here mainly. Whether you can copy it, whether you can modify it, whether you can redistribute it or not. If you can easily, it's under public license. If you can't, it's under proprietary license. ठीक है, तो ये तीन terms, when you're defining these terms, just keep these three terms: right to copy, modify, redistribute. If you have that right, you are something. If you don't have, you come under plagiarism, or you come under copyright infringement, or you come under trademark infringement. ठीक है? Copy, modify, redistribute. 3 words. Okay. Here I am talking about these examples, like GPL may charge a fee or give them free of charge. Like if I talk about Python I'm getting free of charge. I'm not really paying anything for that. Okay? But it is may. There could be some GPL work which is paid. Not much, but something. But if it's under the freeware software license, like Skype or Adobe or things like that allow copying for personal use, but prohibit commercial distribution. Right? So these are different categories wherein your licenses are defined. Completely free है, कुछ भी करो. Other category could be individually you can use it. It's free for you. But if you want to use it for commercial use, है ना? Like हम कहते हैं कि in a DDA community, if you are using your house for commercial purpose, you're creating it a tuition center or some kind of a shop or something, you're using it for commercial purpose, then the rate of electricity is also different. है ना? And if you're using it for domestic purpose, the rate of this thing is different. और तुमने अगर domestic वाले area में उसको commercialize करा, then you are ought to penalize, or you keep on bribing the people who come to you, which works in Delhi at least pretty well. Overall in India also. है ना? So इस तरह का specification है. There are certain free as well as open source softwares which are available for free, and their source code is also open for me. All freeware softwares में you don't have the source code. Like Skype का या Adobe Acrobat Reader का source code नहीं मिलता. But if it is a FOSS, free and open source, then it will be free of cost also, and you will have the source code also available to access, modify, correct, improve, everything you can do. Operating systems like Ubuntu, Fedora comes under FOS. Then other tools are like LibreOffice, Mozilla Firefox, they are also coming under FOSS. Okay. From this also multiple MCQs, multiple questions, 1 markers can be asked. Okay. I have designed, many MCQs. I've collected it from various sources and I'll give it to you. किस form में they can ask you, but yes, as a general knowledge बढ़ा लो इससे, वो भी important है, because people should be aware of all this. And otherwise, from a CBSE exam point of view also, this is a very, very important and a significant topic where you get confused too. These are certain categories of CC licenses. Again, not to be memorized. You can just give it a read. Okay. CC by SA, CC by ND, CC by NC. Okay. Alag categories of CC licenses. And their description is also given. Just for a read, no need to memorize. Okay. That completes your read about licenses, their categories. Of course, one category which stays away, and I've not mentioned it here, that is my proprietary license, which is a paid one. Okay, that we are not talking. Unpaid वाले में क्या क्या category है जो public access के category में आता है? GPL, CC, categories of CC, then you have FOSS, then you have freeware. All these categories are under the things which are getting relevant nowadays, and we all are using those softwares very well. LibreOffice is also very common. Then IPR is also a significant thing, and their violations are creating what? Then we move on to plagiarism and its types and digital footprints. Okay, these are the 5-6 topics which we have covered till now. I'm closing here to start again to finish up with the e-waste and one more topic which is there, cybercrime. Another Zoom meet will be enough for it. Okay, so I'm closing. Please join again.